Blizzard finally dropped the patch 10.2.6 update, and it is not what people expected. Hi, it's Llarold. My channel manager and I spent last night playing and discussing the new game mode, and I'm going to share our thoughts. But before I do, less than 25% of the people watching our channel are subscribed, so be sure to subscribe if you want to see more content about WoW as we head towards Season 4 and the War Within. Okay, the big new feature of patch 10.2.6 is a limited time Battle Royale game mode called Plunderstorm. Plunderstorm takes place in a separate tab on the WoW character screen, and instead of playing one of your existing characters, you play a pre-built character, sort of. There are no Drakthir, but you can choose and fully customize the look of any of the other WoW races. More importantly, there are no classes, because there aren't any WoW skills in this game mode at all. It's different. There's no support for add-ons either. The idea here is a standalone game mode, totally different combat from WoW, and a default UI made specifically for this event. This is one of the most experimental and controversial things that Blizzard has done with WoW that I can remember, so I want to take a look at this from all possible sides and give it a fair breakdown. Let's start with the positives. Blizzard has done a good job hyping this event up. They've made great artwork, and the way that players and NPCs in Plunderstorm telegraph spellcasts is extremely cool. It's very easy to read, and that makes the moment-to-moment gameplay feel more modern and reactive in a way that current retail dragonflight WoW does not. Visual clarity in WoW is a huge problem, and it has been since forever. Being able to clearly see what's happening in both PvE and PvP would make WoW a better game. I also like the PvE gameplay loop of Plunderstorm a lot. I could see playing a version of a game that functions like this but has lasting character progression in the same way that WoW does. Something Wildstar. The intent here is for this to be a pick up and play game mode that is fast, easy, and doesn't require the time commitment of normal WoW. That is totally opposed to the core nature of RPGs in general and WoW specifically, but for the Battle Royale genre, that's basically priority number one, so it's successful at what it's trying to be. This is an idea that is so far outside of WoW's traditional design that it is effectively not the same game. It's Fortnite. Making Fortnite in WoW is the kind of idea that doesn't really appeal to me because I don't like Fortnite and I don't really like WoW PvP, but I get why it would be appealing to other people, and not everything has to be for everyone. More importantly, it implies the possibility of other game ideas being ported into WoW as limited time events. Vampire Survivors in WoW, Hades in WoW, Elden Ring in WoW. The possibilities are endless, the only limit is other people's imaginations. Now I want to talk about the problems. Plunderstorm is the only new content in this patch. Blizzard has spent a lot of time hyping up patch 10.2.6. They specifically told WoW players to be excited. But there are none of the normal things you expect in a WoW patch. No new zones, no new quests, no Evoker tank spec, but I can keep dreaming on that one. The only major bits of class tuning were some Holy Priest changes and a Mistweaver buff. They really needed it. I love when a new patch drops and I'm one of several hundred players gathered together, waiting for an event to start or a boss to spawn. It feels like being part of a living, breathing world. That isn't happening with this patch. If you don't like PvP, if you don't care about battle royales, or you just really wanted to play your character in new content, then this wasn't a patch at all. Now let's talk about the actual experience of playing Plunderstorm. My channel manager and I ran a lot of duo queue games. WoW PvP really isn't an area of interest for either of us, so we didn't come in with super high expectations. And here are our thoughts. We both really liked the visuals and the design of the skills. The ability to quickly learn and swap them as you kill monsters or other players is good. The skill upgrades are simple and intuitive. They have a lot of variety in terms of how they work, how they look, and even the mechanics of casting them. Some of them use the Evoker and Power spell mechanic, some are just basic spell casts, others have multi-button combos. There's a lot of creativity on display with the spells and the items in this game mode. The balancing leaves a little bit to be desired though. Fire, Whirl, and ranged skills really beat out most of the melee abilities. I also really liked the ability to dodge all of the damage that monsters and other players deal. It made the combat feel engaging the whole time. I love games like Path of Exile and Dark Souls. Action combat RPGs are like catnip for me, and this is the only way that you could ever get that kind of gameplay loop, that sort of feeling, into a game like WoW. With that being said, trying to land skill shots on other players, rubber banding around because of WoW's janky old netcode can be pretty frustrating. There are some logistical concerns that would need to be sorted out if this were going to be made into a full-fledged permanent game mode. First off, no matter who was the party leader in our lobbies, my channel manager was always changed to be the party leader once we got in game. We tried relogging, me inviting her inviting me, turning off BNet, remaking the character, nothing worked. She was always the party leader, the alpha, which meant she was always flying at the start of matches. I wanted to try it. I had to play a solo game in order to be able to fly. There's also the issue of key bindings. If you want to change your keybinds or any other in-game settings at all, you have to join a game and change them in the middle of the game. Your keybinds don't transfer over from default WoW either, so you're going to need to change them unless you want to be keyboard turning while you're trying to PvP. Once you have queued up and accepted and entered the game, you are dumped into a lobby area. It's supposed to be a tutorial zone, but you're on the clock from the moment you zone in. You have chests to open, training dummies, and other players to attack, basically lots of good instructional content before the match actually starts. But you only have 25 seconds, or less if you load it in slowly, to look around, and then you get launched out of a cannon and into the Battle Royale, whether you are ready or not. Giving players the ability to log in, walk around, change settings, and experience the tutorial area without actively being queued into Plunderstorm would have been a good change for the overall user experience. Without that, it feels pretty unpolished, like a thrown together temporary game mode instead of a finished product. There were also some bugs. I know some players had some significant crashing issues. I was lucky on that front, but I was unable to log into my regular WoW characters. My character screen kept getting stuck on Plunderstorm repeatedly. This was really annoying when I wanted to check my weekly cash on my alts. Then I was even more annoyed once I finally broke through and just wound up taking coins on everybody. We both really like that Blizzard is doing something else with the world that they have made over the last 20 years. This event really breathes a lot of life into the Arathi Highlands. I just flew around there in regular WoW to compare, and the Plunderstorm version feels alive, like a fun, vibrant setting in an active game. The real Arathi Highlands are old and sleepy by comparison. That's the biggest positive from this event for me. The possibility of other ideas that rejuvenate the world of Azeroth is very compelling. I don't care for Battle Royales, but I do like the idea of fun temporary events in WoW. The underlying idea is really good for the game. Now let's talk about the biggest issue with Plunderstorm, the reward structure. In their initial unveiling, Blizzard announced that Plunderstorm would have tons of cosmetic rewards that carry over into WoW, and the way you unlock those is by progressing through the Renown track, which has 40 levels. You earn Renown by grabbing plunder in matches, and that is at a 1-to-1 ratio. 1 plunder equals 1 Renown point. Each Renown level takes 2,500 Renown points, and you have to level from 1 to 40, so that's 39 levels, or 97,500 Renown in total to progress from level 1 to level 40. It's a lot. Blizzard's announced number on the amount of games on average you would need to complete to gain a Renown level was 4 to 5, with games expected to run for 10 to 15 minutes. That doesn't include the queue time, so rounding up a bit and going off of their estimate, each Renown level would take about an hour to unlock, making that 40 hours spent to unlock all of the rewards. For players who collect mounts, pets, and transmogs, there are a lot of things to want from this event. They look really good. Expecting players to spend 40 hours in this limited time game mode is too much. There are a lot of people who want the rewards and do not like Plunderstorm at all. Spending upwards of 40 hours doing something you don't enjoy is a lot. That's like a week of work. A new WoW patch should not be compared to a job. Because you need 2,500 Renown for each level, their estimate is that players would earn about 40 plunder a minute. Our experience was quite a step down from that, probably close to half that amount, which is not great. Now, I have found a faster way to do this that can cut that time spent in half, but it still isn't super fast. Anyhow, here it is. Each time you enter a new game, you receive a world quest to complete a very basic objective. This changes from game to game. Maybe you're supposed to kill 10 monsters, or open 3 chests, whatever, it doesn't matter. When you complete that quest, you get 250 plunder. Most of the quests can be finished in just a couple of minutes, plus the time spent queuing and waiting in the pre-match lobby. That puts you around 3 minutes per completed quest if you finish the quest and then just throw yourself into PvP and die as quickly as you can. You will also get some incidental plunder along the way, so maybe 300 total plunder per game. If you can cycle through these games in 3 minutes each, that puts you at 100 plunder per minute on average, so you can finish farming the 97,500 plunder you need to unlock all of the rewards in a little over 16 hours. That is still a pretty big time commitment. So here is my takeaway. If this was part of a patch that had in-game content, like just literally any new stuff to do on WoW Dragonflight servers, then I think the people who are unhappy would feel a lot better right now. And those people are right to feel that way. Blizzard spent months building up hype around this patch. They have clearly put a lot of time and effort into it, and they specifically told WoW players to be excited. And then they delivered a PvP-only, standalone game mode. It's as if Mountain Dew, the creators of delicious sodas, spent months hyping up a new product, and then they released Mountain Dew Body Wash. That is a different product than the thing I wanted from you, Mountain Dew. So if you have fun playing Plunderstorm, that is good. I'm happy for you. It is the point of them making it. I like the idea of WoW's developers exploring new ideas and being creative. If this ends up with Blizzard making the game better optimized for events with lots of players in an area at once, or even just making spell mechanics more visible in the war within, then I think the experiment will be worth it. Alright, that's it. Thanks for watching. Bye.